Today's video is a bit personal to me because I want to share something that I've experienced over and over again when it comes to relationship. And I felt, why not share it to people? Maybe, just maybe they do not know. And I want to talk about the God factor in a relationship. I know that yes, I involve God in everything that has to do with me. And I keep telling myself that why should I accept God from my relationship? And I'm talking about romantic relationship. Why should I remove God from my relationship? If I involve in my finances, in my personal development, and everything that has to do with me, why then should I not involve Him when it comes to my relationship? Dear believers, do not remove the God factor from your relationship. God should be in that relationship even before you start it. I'm talking from personal experience. There are things that normally I wouldn't notice that the Holy Spirit draws my attention to it. There are several things that I want to make a mistake, or maybe I make a mistake, and it's like God is bringing my attention to this thing. And I'm asking myself that, okay, normally I wouldn't have noticed all of these things. But the fact that I involved God, like I talk to God about everything, one thing I tell people is you can be vulnerable with God. You can bring your vulnerable self to God. You can talk to Him about everything. I know some people think that He doesn't listen, but God listens. Just pay attention. He can actually talk to you through a person, through anything. I don't want to go too deep into this, but my main message for today is do not remove the God factor from a relationship. Pray about that relationship before you start it, even when you're in it. Let God be everything to you. Don't just have things that you want to involve Him in and you feel that there are things that you shouldn't involve Him in. And I want to share something personal. You see, there's a relationship I got myself into last year that I shouldn't have actually gotten myself into. And it eventually happened that I went into that relationship. And I prayed to God about it. And I'm not praying God if He's not the one. That's not the prayer I was praying. I have grown past that prayer point. One of the things I told God is, let your will for me be done. God's will for my life is so vital. When I prayed that prayer, God, let your will be done for me, I still went ahead, I dated this person. But I noticed how anxious I was feeling. First of all, the Spirit of God gave me a scripture. I went again in that scripture. I don't know, He wanted me to understand something. But when that scripture came, I did not have clarity about what the scripture was all about. But He gave me that scripture and I wrote it down. And one of the things I want you all to understand is every good and perfect gift comes from God. If it's not good, it is not from God. I want you to understand that. God is so interested in your affairs that He wouldn't want you to go into something that would own you. I think sometimes when we find ourselves in things that eventually burns us, it's because we listen to our flesh than what God has to say to us. So I eventually went to that relationship. And at the end of the day, it wasn't it. I was always nervous. It was like, I have never been in this place in every relationship I've ever been in. And I kept asking myself, why did I go into this relationship in the first place? It was a question that I asked myself till I got the answer. And I got to realize that maybe if I did not involve God, maybe we would have gone far. Maybe there are things that I would have neglected. Because most of the time, the Spirit of God draws my attention to these things. And sometimes I used to think, because I'm a sensitive person, that is why I'm actually taking note of these things. But that's not true. You can be a sensitive person and still neglect things that you want to neglect. But the Spirit of God keeps bringing my attention to the scripture over and over again. And eventually I realized that if it's from God, it's going to be good. It's not going to be all, it's not going to be a smooth ride, because God had promised us a smooth ride. He said it's going to be with us despite the challenges. But in this situation, I knew that God was passing a message to me. So what I'm sharing with you today is, do not neglect the God factor in your relationship. Don't get so engrossed that because you desire a relationship, that you forget to involve God in that relationship. You might be far gone, and you might be maybe 3 years, 4 years far gone in that relationship, but you know deep within you, that relationship is not giving you that thing, that peace, that joy, because everything that concerns you concerns God. And whenever I remember that word, everything that concerns all my affairs concerns God, it shows that it doesn't want me to find myself in something that would quench me. So it gives me that assurance that God wants the best for me. So my message is, do not neglect the God factor. Involve God before you go into that relationship. Involve God when you're in that relationship. Involve God even when you're enjoying the relationship. Don't remember Him when everything is going so or everything is going bad. The things that your body or yourself will not bring into your attention, the Spirit of God will bring it into your attention. The Spirit of God will guide you into that thing. The Spirit of God will direct you into that thing. The Spirit of God will bring you awareness, because He is ever present, and if we get involved in things that concern us, He is always ready to get involved. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to share 1 or 2 experiences you've had when it comes to involving God and how God has helped you survived or removed yourself from a relationship that was never healthy for you, I'll be reading your comments. I would love to hear what you have to say in the comment section.